Hey guys, my name is Shirley and welcome to Learning with Purpose, where it's all about helping you achieve your educational goals. Okay, so as the title suggests, today's video is just going to be me being absolutely real, authentic, and just raw with you guys about all the mistakes that I made during my HSC in the hopes that you guys don't make the same mistakes and possibly have a better journey than I did. Alright, so just a brief history type of thing. Going into year 12, I wouldn't say I was a bad student, but then I wasn't like a super excellent student. I wasn't somebody who was like crazy smart, like I wasn't in the top like maths classes and stuff like that. But then I wasn't somebody who really like found school difficult. Like I understood concepts and all that kind of stuff, but if I wanted to get good grades, I did have to work for them. Like my reports were mainly like A's, B's, maybe a C every now and then, but very rare. Alright, so going into year 12, I pretty much had the goal that I wanted to get an 80 or above 90 and get to my dream university, which is the University of New South Wales, best business school in the state. So I didn't like say specifically I wanted a 99.9, I wanted a 93 point this, that, but overall, like deep within me, I just wanted an 80 or above 90. Like I would have been equally happy with a 90.5 as I would have been with a 98.7 type of thing. So when the results did come out, I did get the 80 that I wanted. I got a 92.3, 3 band 5s, 3 band 6s, which is what I'd been aiming for. I'd aimed for 3 band 5s and 3 band 6s. And I got into my dream uni to study commerce and information systems. So pretty much overall, everything worked out. But if I was like, after doing some reflection and all that kind of stuff, there were areas that if I had improved on those, I could have easily gotten an 8 or above 95. So the first mistake that I made during my HSC was I let bad marks get to me. So term 1, like the first term of year 12, my grades were great. I was ranked like I think top 5 in pretty much nearly, if not all, of my subjects, great marks and all that kind of stuff. But then came half yearlies in term 2 and some of my subjects, they weren't that great. So I really let that get to me. Like it took me a long time to pick myself up after I got those bad marks. Like I kind of did like a giving up thing. I know I did that with maths, with economics and with English. So if I was to give you any advice is don't let bad marks get to you. Don't waste time, dwelling over bad marks. If you do get bad marks, I have a video that I'll link down below in the description bar on how to get over bad grades. But yeah, I think big mistake was I just let bad grades get to me and I didn't move on. Another mistake that I made is I wasn't consistent with my notes. Like at the beginning of each term, everyone's motivated and all that kind of stuff. So I think for the first few weeks of each term I was quite consistent, but then as we got like into week 5, week 6, I started like my notes weren't really like up to date, and then I'd like panic when it comes to like an exam time and all that kind of stuff, and I'd still be trying to type my notes when I should be doing past papers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think one of my weaknesses was that I wasn't consistent with my notes, and if I had been consistent with my notes, I would have reduced my workload when it came to final exam time, and I wouldn't have been as stressed, and I would have had more time to really understand the concepts that I'd written down instead of a week before an exam still typing notes. Alright, another one that I made a big mistake for this one is I used not having a great teacher as an excuse. So for one of my subjects, one of the subjects that I got a band 5, I easily could have gotten a band 6, but I got a band 5 because in my eyes and in the eyes of our class and everyone, we didn't have that great of a good teacher. So instead of trying to think of strategies to overcome not having a great teacher, I spent my time complaining and saying like, it's unfair, why do we have a teacher like this, how come another class has a great teacher, how come we don't get these resources and all that kind of stuff. And if I didn't make those excuses and I really tried to get out of my way to get other resources from other teachers and to just be an overall better student, I definitely easily could have gotten like above band 6. I think for that subject I got like an 88 or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, one of my greatest downfalls was giving the excuse that I have a bad teacher and not thinking of any strategies to overcome that. Alright, another mistake that I made was I avoided studying subjects that I found difficult or that I didn't necessarily enjoy. So I'll give the example of economics. Economics was by far my favorite subject in high school, but then at the same time, it was by far the subject I hated the most, because as much as I loved it and all, it was just, I couldn't really hit it. It's like I wasn't 100% getting the concepts and how to intertwine them in essays and all that kind of stuff. But I really did love looking at things like studying what's happening in the economy, why is there growth rates, this and that and all that kind of stuff. So I did genuinely enjoy it. But then because it was hard at times, I'd be like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother trying. Like I remember, this links to mistake number one as well. I remember, I think it was like my third assessment task or something like that. I think I got like 72, 60 something or somewhere around there. And I just gave up. I'm like, screw economics. So going into my HSC, I had a really good understanding of the first three topics, but the fourth one, I didn't have that strong of an understanding because I didn't really want to put in the work because it was difficult, and it was almost like I'd given up type of thing. So don't give up. If you find something hard or if it's something that you don't enjoy, put more effort into that. All right, another mistake that I made during my HSC is I kind of burnt out in a way, and I stopped studying after trials. So going into trials, I think I worked quite hard for trials. Could have worked a bit harder, but I believe I worked quite hard for trials. But then after trials, it was like this weird phase of you finish topics and then the HSC seems like it's so far away, but it's not really. And I don't know, I kind of really didn't work as hard for the actual final HSC exams as I should have. So if I was to give any advice, is be consistent until you finish that final HSC exam. Be consistent. Don't have times off and all that kind of stuff. Obviously have like a balance and all that kind of stuff, but be consistent. Don't have like peaks and then you forget about school, then you have another peak when exams are close and all that kind of stuff, but try to be consistent. Okay, the last and final mistake that I'm going to discuss in this video is that I think I gave up a bit too much for my HSC. For my HSC, I was so determined to get into my uni, and I was so determined to get into my course. So I really put a lot of pressure on myself, and as a result, I ended up giving up a lot of things in my HSC year. Like I stopped swimming, I stopped working. There are a lot of things that I gave up that I probably shouldn't have given up just for the sake of having a little extra time to study. Like I remember there was a time where I think I had an exam, or I think it was leading up to trials, and 2 weeks before that exam, one of my family friends had a wedding, and I said I wasn't going to go to the wedding because I actually didn't go to the wedding because I was like, I need to stay home and study. And looking back at it now, I'm like, really, surely you didn't go to a wedding just because you were studying for an exam. So yeah, at the time, if you're really serious about your studies, you may feel like you have to sacrifice a lot. And I believe in your HSC, yes, you do have to make certain sacrifices, but don't make the HSC your whole world. So I think those are the main mistakes that I made throughout my HSC. Obviously there's probably more that I made, but honestly I couldn't have been happier. Like when I got my results, I was absolutely over the moon. I didn't think I would get that mark at all, and then I got into the uni that I wanted and everything. So although I made these mistakes and everything, overall I was just so happy with the result that I got. And I hope that when you guys get your results as well, you are happy and you get what you want, but you can't get what you want if you don't work for it. So yeah, that'll be it for me for this video, and I hope that this has really helped you out. If you did like it, don't forget to pop that like button and that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Share this video around with your friends. It would really mean a lot, and it really does help out. So with all that being said and done, dream big and hustle hard. I'll see you again next time. Bye.